morning, everyone. This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. We did a video yesterday, and we mentioned Ronnie Perkins, the defensive end for the Oklahoma Sooners. And I wanted to do more of a draft video on him because I started watching some of his film from 2020. I got a chance to look at the Florida game, Oklahoma State game, and the Texas Tech game. And he's an interesting prospect for the Giants, towards the second or even potentially in the third round. And of course, a couple hours after my video came out, Mel Kiper said the Giants are going to pick him. F you, Mel. Don't steal my thunder. What are you watching my videos, Mel Kiper Jr.? I bet you are. How else would you get that great information? 6'3", 247-pound defensive end from Oklahoma. Played 32 games with his career, 98 tackles, 32 tackles for loss, 16.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 pass defense. He did face a suspension, of course, for marijuana at the end of the 2019 season that's bled into the 2020 season, so he only played 6 games. 23 tackles, 10.5 for loss, 5.5 sacks. It's marijuana. It's pot. Whatever you want to call it. It's not like it's not legal now in most states or going that direction. So I'm not going to sit there and be judgmental because a kid in college was smoking grass. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that too much. But I really think Ronnie can be a gem for the Giants because of his flexibility. And I think that he can play multiple positions in the defense. And I think he has that ability to play not only the defensive end position, but also the outside linebacker position. I mean, when he was at Oklahoma, yeah, he played the majority of his time on the defensive line. He played on the right side, he played on the left side, but he has the ability to rush from both the 2-point and 3-point stance. He does. He has that innate ability built into him. And he is a guy he's quick. And he's got lateral movement or lateral agility. He can play sideline from sideline. And if you want to talk about a guy coming out of college that has fantastic technique and actually could probably teach some techniques, it would be Ronnie. And I personally think if you watch some of those games that I watch, he has a really high football IQ. He understands where he needs to be. Now, would you say he's the most explosive player? No. And I think he has an issue with consistency. Sometimes I'll use my favorite term. He gets lost in the sauce and goes periods of time where he is not a factor. But again, I think those are things that can be worked on. Because if you actually watch him rush the quarterback, this guy has got all the moves. I mean, he's got a club, he's got a rip, he's got a swim move, he's got the long arms for a bull rush. He plays with great hands techniques. And he really does a great job of keeping the blocker in front of him engaged. And I think that is a rare thing at times, I think, in college football. And he has the ability to get into the offensive backfield. He could be extreme, and you can look by his stats by this 32 tackles for loss. He has the disruptive presence to get behind the line of scrimmage. Like I said, he shows great quickness. He shows great lateral movement. He can really, and like I said, he could play in the 2 or 3-point stance. He's just as a guy that if the Giants went after, could potentially fill 2 spots on the roster with 1 pick. He's an extremely disciplined defender. And like I said, he's the way he reads and reacts. It's something that when you watch some of the film, like watch the Florida game, you can see the movement. You could see his ability to process plays. He doesn't waste time going after the ball carrier. He's got great hustle. He's competitive. He's got a motor that doesn't quit. Now, like I mentioned before, discipline though sometimes kind of gets him in trouble a little bit. He can occasionally, once in a while, he's slow off the line of scrimmage, and that's like I said. This is just off the 4 or 5 games I looked at. He seems to play run first a lot of the times, which is interesting for a guy that's playing the edge. And like I said, while he's got great hand placement, he does have issues at time quickly disengaging from his lineman when he needs to go off the ball, when he needs to go off the lineman to find the ball carrier. And while he's got a good, quick first step, and like I said, it's the true explosion on the field that you don't know how explosive he can be. He's got a great first step. He's extremely quick, but he also doesn't consistently drive his tackles. He doesn't jolt defenders. But like I said, these are things, a lot of these things I think he can work on in the pros. And like I said, he has the ability to play standing up. He has the ability to play with his hand in the dirt. And with that, he could potentially start at outside linebacker or defensive end. And I think that, like I said, if you're looking for a guy that could hold the edge against a run, has the mental fortitude to process plays and follow the ball carrier, Ronnie Perkins is a good pick, especially if we can get him in the second round. Like I said, I don't think he's going to I don't think he's going to rise up into the first round, but I don't know how far into the second round he's going to fall. I don't know if he's going to fall to the Giants, because I think right now, if you look at his versatility, and I think that's going to be the key word for the Joe Judge defense or the Patrick Graham defense, whoever's defense you want to call it, it's going to be based on versatility. Last year, we did defense by substitution. This year, I think we are going to have to change that up a little bit. And I said that you can only go defense by substitution for a short period of time before the league begins to adjust and has the ability to track what players are in for what packages and what we're going to run. Now, what's going to happen is I think we are going to now need to rely on players that can play multiple positions on the field and offer that versatility. And a player like Ronnie here, like Ronnie Perkins, if you have him on the field and you don't know if he's going to put his hand in the dirt or if he's going to be standing up or if he's going to be playing linebacker, if he's going to be rushing the passer, if he's going to drop back into coverage. Now, the coverage area, to me is going to be his biggest issue. I think he focused a lot more, of course, because he was playing more on the line, going after the ball carrier, getting into the offensive backfield, going after the quarterback. So we're gonna need to see how well he can adjust to playing playing the coverage scheme, going man to man or going into the zone. But like I said, I think he has all the tools to start in the NFL. He just may take some time to develop it and may turn into a rotational player in the beginning. But like I said, which is fine to me because like I said, I think the Giants are going to focus on versatility, the players that have versatility. Players that can play in multiple spots in the defense. It's kind of like what we did in the secondary last year. Between Logan Ryan, Xavier McKinney, they and Peppers, they had the ability to play in the safety position, but then also come up and play as a quasi linebacker. Because the three of them spent the majority of their time playing in the box. I think Peppers played like 60-something% of his plays in the box. But they also offered the versatility, of course, to play the safety, as they were also the quasi linebacker. And I think if we are not going to have a true edge, that if we have multiple players, and Lorenzo Carter would be a good example as well, that can play both the edge and the linebacker position and offer that versatility to Patrick Graham, I think the D can be extremely dangerous again, even if we do not come up with a consistent or a viable, let's say, every down option on the defensive end position. It would be a lot to ask for Ronnie Perkins to come in and do this. But I personally think that he can come in, he can develop. He may not start the first couple weeks of the season, but he may play in certain packages. And then as you increase his workload, I think his ability to hold the edge and get to the quarterback will be on full display. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports and talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, subscribe, bring that blazing into me, that'd be awesome.